Thank you for watching BlaXit.
Money, money, Emperor.
Welcome to the program. You can greet with the listener before we start.
Oh, Jenna Jeff, I'm with the Kathy. I appreciate that. I'd like to say, like I said, thank you, Jalama, to everybody, and obviously Abiniyadi. Hello, greetings. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I wish I was more lingual. I want to speak like you two. I'm trying though. But it's really hard because it's not easy.
I can see you speak few local languages.
Wow, they call my lingua Wolof, huh? So it's hard.
Thank you very much. To start with, when you said Council of African Descendants, tell us who are these people and what is the organization or the group all about?
Okay, so when we first came to the Gambia, we actually first came to the Gambia for the first time in 2011. Although I had been to Africa before. My first trip to Africa was when I was just 22 years old, and I'm like 50 now, so it was a while ago. But I fell in love with Africa then, and not only that, it's very important for us to all actualise and realise that we need to come back to the motherland to know who we are, to know our identity. And so when we came back to live permanently here in the Gambia in 2019 on the 4th of February, we realised that there was no registered organisation that was here to create, if you like, a safety net for us coming back, and also to create a proper integration programme for us. And after being here a few months, I was thrown in the deep end in an interview with a very prolific and well-known vlogger called Rhoda Maya, who really is changing the narrative of Africa around the world. And he interviewed me. That interview, courtesy of iGambia, we've got to give thanks to Tony and to Martin and Isatu, went viral basically globally, millions and millions and millions of views. And as a result of that, he made me promise to start my own YouTube channel, which was called BlaXit. And once I started that channel, which was just recently actually, since then we've had over 3.5 million views, which for us is a very small channel that we don't sort of put too much up to regularly, and also to have over 50,000 subscribers in such a short space of time, especially because we're based here in the Gambia, is quite an achievement for us. So a spin-off from that was the fact that with regard to some changes that were being made that would have affected us here, we needed to come together as an organisation to have a voice. And from that, myself and my husband, we founded the Council of African Descendants. I founded the name, and I made the name because it needed to reflect on what we were and what we were about. And so council would indicate to everybody that we're a body, we're a recognisable body, and that we're accountable to our people, our African descendants, and also our brothers and sisters here on the continent. So African Descendants, the Council of African Descendants, is about being accountable both to our brothers and sisters here in Gambia and across Africa, and also to Africans who are in the diaspora as well. And African descendants, especially those that are the descendants of the enslaved, of which I am one, obviously. So.
Again, when you say African descendants, that include Africa, Gambia inclusive. Why do you choose Gambia for the commanders?
Well, Gambia chose me, actually. Let's just say that much. When I came here, I was told by my grandmother, actually, that our family came from a place called Gambia. It wasn't until my second visit in 2012 I realised in Mandinka, Gambia was pronounced Gambia. And then I realised that I was home. Not only that, I just saw people who looked exactly like my family. It was uncanny, it was unreal, it was, in fact, sometimes I just sat and stared at people and they wondered, why am I looking at them so hard? And it's because they look exactly like my family. In fact, I came face to face with someone who looked exactly like me. And so, with that being said, the people here, I've travelled a lot to, I think, I think it's 29 countries. I keep saying 28, but I think it's actually 29 because I forgot to include Sierra Leone. But I've been to like 29 countries, and coming here, it felt like home. The people here, the most beautiful, most wonderful, most loving, kind, most hospitable, most absolutely humble and welcoming people I've ever met in my life. And I mean beautiful looking, beautiful black, beautiful skin, figures, everything's just beautiful here. And you know, I'm not saying that the continent is not beautiful, but I'm saying that I fell in love with Gambia because through the eyes of Gambians. I fell in love with Gambia through the food, through the benachin, through the domada, super kandra. I could go on and on and on. But seriously, it's the culture that I felt an automatic clicking with. It's like a key in a lock. It just fit and it turned for the first time. Even though I've been to other nations, this is the first time that the key fits for me. And so I knew that this was my ancestral home without any shadow of doubt. This is where I belonged and this is where I must be. And not only that, I felt that I could actually contribute with my heart open. And I felt that I could be here and feel happy and safe with my brothers and sisters in a village. I'm a village girl. Okay. So I live in a village and I love village life. I'm a Busura girl as well, Brikama girl, you know, Jambo girl. All of those areas are my areas and I love them deep to my heart. I love Nemakunku. These are the places where I'm most comfortable sitting under the mango tree, yeah, drinking a taya.
What is automatic citizenship?
Okay, so one of the obstacles we faced coming here is that people wouldn't see us as Africans. They just would not identify with us as Africans. They call us everything else from Tubab to Black British. There's no places called Black Britain. Yeah, no place. You can look on the map, you won't find it. Yeah, being called European, being called American, being called Jamaican, being called Caribbean, everything but African. So the automatic aspect of it has got to connect to our identity. It's most important. You can't have citizenship anywhere without identity. So we must first automatically be identified as African. That is what the Economic Sixth Region is all about. That is what the AU had put into place. That is what ECOWAS has recognized. That is what the UN has recognized. But in Africa, it seems on the ground, we are not desensitized enough to acknowledge our brothers and sisters coming home. Yeah, I am not an American. Yeah, and I could never be. Yeah, I am an African, and we must, you know, understand that we hold tight to that identity. It's the only thing we've got left. Our language was taken away from us. Our heritage was taken away from us. Our culture was taken away from us. Our families were taken away from us. Our mother tongue was taken away from us. Everything, our legacy that we even left behind, our farms, our families, our connections, our positions, whether we were in El Carlo or, you know, whether, you know, we were in the Council of Elders or we were a babe in arms, we were taken away from our parents. We were forced onto slave ships. We were forced to walk along the coastline and put onto slave ships. We were the ones that made it. I was just one of the fortunate ones whose ancestors made it. And so it's very important that we don't lose grip of the sight that we never gave up our Africanness. We might be born in England, but Africa is born in us, and we never gave up. We love our African family. Yeah. We are Africans.
You meet the president of the republic,
yes.
President Adam Barrow. I know one of the reasons meeting him would be this automatic citizenship. Tell us your discussion with the president and what are the positive impact that we have on your discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I was really lucky and very, very fortunate because His Excellency Adam Barrow watches BlaXit. So he watches our channel on YouTube. So because he watches our channel, he was very knowledgeable about the issue. So that threw me back, firstly, because I didn't expect that he knew so much. And so when I made a comment and I said he's very intelligent, he obviously is clever enough to do all his research and understand exactly the situation. And in fact, he was very supportive, which I'm so happy for. I didn't know that we had a grant. I'm not saying I didn't know, but to be honest with you, maybe I should have done more research myself, because I didn't realize how much of a grassroots Pan-Africanist he was in the sense of understanding our position. But I also think that because he's traveled, he understands as well our situation. And so one of the things that he grasped is the fact that 15 years it precludes inward investment. So say, for example, I want to come here and I want to invest, let's say, £2 million, yeah? And I have to wait 15 years for citizenship. I'm not going to invest my £2 million here. I'll go to Ghana. Ghana is looking to move their boundaries and to reduce their citizenship to 6 to 12 months. So I would go where I know my investment is going to be secure. So he understood, you know, about the potential for capital investment not coming here. He understands that. And so he understands that 15 years is too much. We were talking about an exceptional clause. I'm not saying that you can't apply 15 years to other people. What I am saying is that don't apply it to us.
You mentioned money here, which is very important to our economy.
Yes, very
If
important.
you come to settle here, how would you help Gambian economy? Because we have mentioned investment.
Oh, I mean, I'll give you an example. For example, when I come here, this is just one person. So this is just my family alone. Yeah, and us coming here to the Gambia, we sold our 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. I sold my Range Rover, my Mercedes convertible, you know, and loads of other investments. I divested them to come here. So that huge amount of money that I sold would come here. I have other investments I haven't divested because of the fact of the insecurity of the citizenship situation. So I would love to bring everything and bring it here, but I have to feel secure, and citizenship is security. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like for me, socially, I feel secure. I am a citizen of Bussorah, yeah, and I have my integration certificate to prove it. And so the president understood that. And I think that's what we were talking about. And my personal investment here has helped to villages, for example, and personal families. So I could say, if you look at Nemakunku today, there's a road being built in Nemakunku thanks to people that have come through BlaXit and Code. That was the Westbury United Methodist Church. They contributed to Nemakunku. We contributed to Nemakunku to ensure that a road can be built and that we can bring pumps. In terms of our personal investment, I don't want to talk too much because we've come to my house. But you know, what I'd like to say is generally we bring millions of dollars into the country.
And that's very important. You mentioned Bussorah. Why do you stay in Bussorah?
Okay, so Bussorah is where we're planning on building the first Pan-African Institute. And Bussorah, when I first went there, the welcome that I received from Bussorah was amazing. It's the place that I have been adopted. So in terms of naturalization, I've been adopted into a Gambian family. That's the Kajabi family by Lamin Kajabi, Hawa Kajabi, Ibrahim Kajabi, Hadi Kajabi, and my mama, you know? And so being adopted into a family means more to us. When I have to wear a shobi, go to weddings, okay? And being involved with the family, helping with the local school. At the moment, we're gonna fence. Of course, I love plasters. You're joking. I love plasters, right? And he knows I love plasters. And so basically, we're helping to build a fence around the school. That's our next project that we're working on currently. Also bringing medical equipment to the health post there. We already put a borehole in with 7 standpipes in Bussorah. And currently, we also encouraged others to come forward. And as a result of that, I think it's Bussorah Holdings Limited, Abdullah, on Saturday, he actually put in 61 solar lights, street lights. So Bussorah is really getting advanced, and also it also propelled forward the Bussorah Youth Task Force and also the VDC, and I'm co-opted onto the VDC. I'm actually the secretary of Busra VDC. So it's not just about talk, it's about action. And so we also founded a community gardens there that has been worked on as we speak, which is for the benefit of the community. And so there's so much that you can do to give back. And we want the opportunity to give back because we realise that unless we work together, it doesn't bode well.
Some people accuse you of grabbing all our land.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to ask them how. Yeah, how do I grab my lands with my hands? Firstly, that's nonsensical because but we promote people like Mustafa Taf. So I don't think you would call Mustafa Taf a land grabber, would you? Okay, would you call Sol Fraser a land grabber? Would you call Abdullah Sanyang or Alaji Sanyang a land grabber? Would you go ahead and call, you know, Mr. Jello a land grabber, or Adi Job a land grabber, or any of the people that head any of the land companies here a land grabber? No, they are realtors. That is their job. They're estate agents. So what? You want us to come here and be homeless? So we can't buy a house? So we can't buy a piece of land? We are buying this land. This land is not given to us freely. Every piece of land has benefited the Gambian economy. And those people that say that, give me back my ancestral land and I will grab it with both hands. Give it back, yeah? Give it back. Because I want to know where my ancestral or my heritage, my land was. We come back and we buy land that helps the economy. And those people that say that, to me, they need to go back, yeah? Look into their family heritage, yeah? And speak to their great-great-grandparents and find out, right, what happened to their family members that were taken during slavery and who actually took over the land of those people that were taken. And that's what's being missed, is that we are all connected, yeah? And those people also, I would like to say, that call us land grabbers, I want them to go to Makasutu and I want them to go and speak to the white man that owns the 5,000 square meters, right, of prime forest land, yeah, and ask him to leave. I also want them to go to Banjul and I want them to speak to all the Asian owners, the 2/3 owners of Banjul, right, and ask them to give back the land. That's right, go and check, right? Also, I want them to go and speak to the Chinese and I want them to go and ask them to take away all their fish factories and to take back all of their fish because they're grabbing fish. No, and no. Let's go deep. Let's talk about all the Lebanese and the 2,000 square meters they own across Bonto. Let's go and talk about the Lebanese and all of the supermarkets and all of the Chinese supermarkets, all of the Asian supermarkets. And I want you to go and call them land grabbers. I want you to go and call them economic thieves. And I want you to go and ask for it back. Because when our money comes into this country, it stays here. It does not go anywhere, and it stays black. Right?
You always mention Ghana as example when you
Yes.
talk about automatic citizenship. What did Ghana did, or what benefit have they got from this automatic citizenship?
They got in 1 year, well, less than 1 year actually. Let me not exaggerate the time. In less than 1 year, they benefited from 1.9 billion US dollars injection into their economy. So while Gambia was crying over Thomas Cook, sorry, yeah, they were having the year of return. Now Gambia, right, I'm sorry, but Gambians, we've done ourselves a great injustice. You have the story of roots. You have the original story of slavery here. You have this wonderful legacy. It's so important to, heritage tourism. And that is what Ghana has galvanized and capitalized on and done effectively because we want to come home. Wake up and smell the coffee. You had the Roots Festival. The first person to give automatic citizenship was Sir Dawda Jawara, the late, great president of the Gambia. He gave automatic citizenship in 1968 in Abuja at Pan-African Conference, and then again in Banjul in 1994. And then your last previous president also gave it at the Homecoming Roots Festival. So Gambia has always been ahead of the curve. And you can still be ahead of the curve. And this is what the president recognized. And moving forward, I think there's going to be some very positive changes. So that was the benefit of meeting with the president. He was born in an island called Montserrat, you know, and I give him a big shout out because I know he's listening. And their population is 12,000. So when you say tiny island, my husband was born on an island with a population of less than 12,000. Yeah, my parents were born on an island which is the equivalent size of this, and Jamaica seen as a big island, so I don't understand what you're saying small, but you might be equating it, you know, to the place where you are. But you've got to remember that I come from the place that I was born in, a city, and the city that I was born in was called London. And London is 600 square miles, that includes Greater London, and the population there in those 600 square miles is 12 million, but yet I come to a country which is 4,000 square miles with a population of just over 2 million. I don't know, like, I don't understand it. And I think, like I said, when you're looking from the outside in, yes, you have a different perspective. And when you've travelled, you have a different perspective. And I'm just asking people not to judge us, okay, but just to accept us as long lost brothers and sisters that are coming back to their motherland. This is our motherland too. And this is what people have forgotten, because there's been a difference of experience, and our foreparents went through the worst and most heinous and most terrible and harmful experience ever on the face of the planet and in the history of humanity. The transatlantic slave trade, 400 years of torture, death and genocide, you know, was met upon us. We had to give free labour. England was born off of our blood. England was born off of our free labour, forced labour. You forget we couldn't even sit on a bus with a white person. We couldn't even drink. Don't forget that's what the civil rights movement was about. We've had to fight tooth and nail for those people who are going to America, who are running to America, running to the UK. Whose blood, sweat and tears did they think fought for their rights so they could even sit down on the same bus or train? It was us. It was my parents. It was my foreparents who went through the most terrible racism and discrimination. And then we come to Africa and we find white God syndrome.
One nation, one Africa. Thank you, BlaXit family. Please keep watching and remember, follow your dreams.
Emperor made this.
Purchase your tracks today.
Emperor made this.